What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Thanks for tuning in today on Wednesday. I've got a full slate of topics for you. Nice variety today. If you aren't yet, and you have, and you feel like I've earned it, I hope today I'll earn your subscription. There's a red subscribe button right down below the video. YouTube makes it, in particular, very difficult to find my videos, and I rely exclusively on your support. There's lots of news coming too, by the way. So, got a nice slate today. I'm excited about today's topics. I think I've got 5 good ones. Elon's on a little bit of a Anthony Fauci warpath. And we know that he doesn't like him. Well, probably most of you don't like him as well. There are a lot of things about the man that are suspect. And in my opinion, I wouldn't care if he went to jail. After I've seen the Beagle footage and things of that nature. It turns out at Twitter, let's start with the funny part, and then we'll get to the more serious stuff. Elon Musk claims ex-Twitter employees had a literal Fauci fan club Slack channel. Musk tweeted the claim in a thread that was highly critical of Fauci, who was accused by the mogul, again, of lying about so-called research that some suggest have played a role in the spread of the coof. Since taking over, Musk has been eager to show the company's prior management had a left-wing bias that promoted liberal narratives and banned conservative voices. Musk on Tuesday responded to a tweet thread by venture capitalist Mark Andreessen, who posted a meme that accused Fauci of lying. Let's go actually right to the point here. This, I think, is ChatGPT is what it looks like. So he asks, has he ever lied? The thing replies, it is not accurate or fair to say that he lied. The director of blah, 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 and leading expert of this and that has ever lied. He is a highly respected scientist and physician who has spent his career working to improve public health. ChatGPT basically got woke. So he gets in here, first of all, and posts a link to a congressional document that proves he lied. Right? Here's Tech and Science, Congress.gov. Says Fauci was, quote, untruthful to Congress about the lab research. New documents appear to show. This was in Newsweek. Documents obtained and released by The Intercept on Tuesday after it launched a Freedom of Information lawsuit. Richard E. Bright, Board of Governors Professor of Chemistry and Chemical Biology at Rutgers University and Lab Director at the Waksman Institute of Microbiology, told Newsweek that these documents show unequivocally that Anthony Fauci apparently lied. Well, that's a weird skip there. Unequivocally that NIH, Fauci, the director of that, blah, 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 which is part of the NIH, has not ever, he said that they have not ever the claim was that they have not ever and does not now fund any kind of gain-of-function research. Ebright said the documents make it clear that the assertions by the NIH director, Francis Collins, and the NIAID director, Anthony Fauci, that the NIH did not support this research are untruthful. It says, this is just a Newsweek article, but it sure doesn't look too good. The next post. Almost nobody seems to realize that the head of bioethics, okay, the person that is in charge of, making the ethical decisions for this company at NIH, the person who is supposed to make sure that Anthony Fauci behaves ethically is his wife. I didn't know that. Did you know that? If you didn't know that, leave a like on the video. If you did know that, leave a like on the video. These are the type of videos, I know sometimes I meme on Twitch girls or something like that, but this is a pretty big deal. I didn't even know that. So you're talking about the person that's supposed to make sure he acts ethically, someone who can legally not speak against him in court. Elon continues. Gain of function in this concept is just another way of saying bioweapon. Some good nuggets in the article. Important to note that Fauci authored a 2012 paper arguing for gain-of-function research. Obama wisely put this on pause, but Fauci restarted it. he had this stuff ready to go. Here's a 2012 article. I'm sorry, a 2021 article. Fauci argued the benefits of gain-of-function research outweighed any kind of pandemic risk in 2012 paper. Pretty interesting, isn't it? All this stuff coming out, right? All this stuff that people ignored for years. All of the stuff that you were told you were a conspiracy theorist if you said anything about it. There was probably a time if you linked this article on Twitter, you would get shadow banned or deboosted. I mean, based on all the Twitter files, it seems pretty appropriate. In newly resurfaced paper from 2012, Dr. Anthony Fauci argued that the benefits of this type of research are worth the increased risk of a potential pandemic-causing lab accident. The Weekend Australian unearthed a paper that Fauci wrote for the American Society for Microbiology in October 2012, in which he argued in support of this thing. Such research involves making them more infectious and or deadly. Experts have raised the possibility that the COOF could have originated from a potential lab leak. Despite the risk involved, Fauci called this type of experiments important work in 2012. Quote, in an unlikely but conceivable turn of events, what if that scientist becomes infected, which leads to an outbreak that ultimately triggers terrible, maybe what we saw, right? Many ask reasonable questions. Given the possibility of such scenario, however remote, should the initial experiments have been performed and or published in the first place? Scientists working in the field might say, as indeed I have said, that the benefits of such experiments and the resulting knowledge outweigh the risks. It is more likely that the lockdowns would occur in nature, and they need to stay ahead of such a threat is a primary reason for performing an experiment that might appear to be risky. So in this paper in 2012, he said, meh, totes worth it, bro. Benefits outweigh others. Hey, maybe they do, actually. I'm not a doctor. But in this particular scenario, let's say hypothetically, he was again taking that very same risk that, outweighed the benefits, outweighed the risk. Look what's happened to this world, the entire world for the last 2 years, going on 3, probably will never end. I mean, I was driving down the freeway yesterday, and now all these businesses that popped up around COOF testing, now they're like, ooh, make sure you come in for your COOF/flu/RSV test. Live in fear. Be afraid. Be very afraid. You must give us money. By the way, did you also know that Dr. Anthony Fauci is not legally required, if I'm remembering this correctly, to disclose royalty payments that he gets from somebody like Pfizer? They are not required to disclose money that exchanges hands. I want to make sure this is right, but I think I am right. I just want to pull this up quick so, Yeah. Here's, some posts about royalties omit his statement that he says he donates his payments, but he does not make them public. That's interesting. National Review. He says he donates them, maybe. Director of this and paid federal bureaucrat receives 23 royalty payments. Fauci's 2021 taxpayer-funded salary was $456,000. He also received 23 royalty payments, which he says he donated. Maybe he did. Francis Collins, NIH director, received 14 payments. Also, a $203,000 salary. Clifford Lane, 8 royalty payments. I mean, isn't this feels like... So they're in a system where he's not required to disclose the amounts of free money he's getting. I assume he has to disclose it on his taxes? I don't know. What? He goes, despite these glaring issues, Twitter nonetheless had a literal internal Slack channel unironically called the Fauci Fan Club. And then he calls out community notes. I invite community notes to correct or amend this thread. He's like, he basically like, this is true. Mic drop. This guy, thank you for pursuing the real Anthony Fauci. Many eyes are open up to who he really is. How he is remembered to history may very well be determined by you. I mean, yeah. It's absolutely insane. And, you know, why is Elon Musk, now there's like a dozen new articles that Elon Musk is a far right. I'm not far right. I just want the truth. Why is that a left or a right thing? Isn't that just like normal people, liberals, conservatives? Don't you want the truth? What if, hypothetically, that guy had $20 million in royalty payments from Pfizer or whatever? Wouldn't that raise an eyebrow to you? What if, you know, what if this, we finally find out, and in my opinion, obviously, well, maybe we'll never know, but if we do ever find out the truth, like, remember when people were getting banned for even proposing a leak as a possibility? Now it's like a genuine, or generally like accepted likely possibility by many. In my opinion, this guy is a criminal, and his ilk were at least possibly responsible for millions perishing. Maybe we'll never know. But if we find out, I promise to report it on this channel. So if you haven't yet, please do click that red subscribe button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.